Hi there, this is Heather of Shutterbug 101. Today we'll be going over a lens comparison involving the Fuji 10-24 f4 and Tamron's brand new 11-20 2.8. Let's get started. So this is the first lens comparison that I've done for Fuji. Now, when it comes to Fuji users, you'll find that even more so than the Canon and Nikon users, Fuji goes with Fuji, period. So Tamron can be a hard sell for some people, especially if, they haven't experienced the new Tamron lenses. They are definitely something to brag about. And yeah, that's probably an opinionated statement, but I can say that it definitely leveled up to what the Fuji could produce. So let's just go over what each lens has. So the Fujifilm lens has a 10-24 range. It is, of course, for its crop sensor. It's regular standard Fuji cameras, not the GFX. We have a focusing ring here. We have our zoom ring here, which is internal zoom, as well as your aperture control here as well. Now on this lens, you will see two dials. You'll see one for your aperture, so whether you want to control your aperture, or the A for auto, and your stabilization, which is on or off. It is very well built, as most Fujifilm lenses are. It does feel very durable, very lightweight, but the Tamron is even lighter. Now, there are less features when it comes to the comparison between the two. Now, a lot of you might say, well, that's not a fair comparison because the Tamron's a 2.8 and the 10-24 is an f4. But this is the closest comparison that they do have. Fuji does not have as wide as 10 available in 2.8. So the Tamron does have a one-up on the Fuji there. And like their other Tamron lenses for the mirrorless technology, it's very simple. So you have your focusing ring, you have your zoom ring, which is not internal zoom, but it is weather sealed. And it does have that 2.8 all the way through, but no other switches or dials on this lens. I will say, when talking about the difference of the lenses when going and taking pictures, I didn't see any difference when using the lens. So when just taking regular pictures, there was no difference in speed when it came to focusing, when it came to zooming, nothing like that. Naturally, you're not going to see a huge difference between 10 and 11, but 24-20, you will see a slight difference. Fuji can get you just a little bit more distance, but overall, they are very comparable. Even with setting the 2.8 lens to f4, I didn't see any color balance issues like I have with Tamron versus Sony in the past. So the quality of the image that you're seeing here of the comparison between the two is exactly how it came out in camera. These are unedited. This is how it was shot. I tried to frame it as closely to each other as possible so you could see the differences. But the overall main difference that I saw was really gonna be the biggest, should I buy the Fuji or the Tamron or not, is that the Fuji does have a shorter focal distance if you wanted to get physically close to an item. So it's not a macro lens, but as you can see in the pictures of the flowers of where I tried to get physically close, the Fuji was able to get closer than the Tamron to accurately focus on the middle of the flower. So if you want a wide angle lens that's great for realty, for city, for landscape, but also getting close and getting detail without being a macro lens, then the $1,000 Fuji is going to be for you. Now you can save a little bit more money if you're just like, look, I just need a good lightweight good quality wide angle in my bag. I do some occasional city photography. I do, you know, some landscapes, even like for realty. You know, maybe you don't need to get close to those details and see the grout in the counters, you know, that type of thing. And at that point, you have the Tamron for $700, which Tamron also does tend to have more sales and deals on their lenses than like the Fuji brand will. So there's also a possibility of, in time, this occasionally going on sale over the Fuji one. So you got $1,000 for the Fuji that can get a little bit closer, or you have the Tamron, which can do, at least in my opinion, just as good a quality as the Fuji, just not get as physically close for $700. So leave that up to you, but if you're just looking for good wide angle quality, they both can do it. I hope that this has helped you kind of steer yourself in either direction, or even give you more confidence in the Tamron brand, that Tamron can hold a candle up to the manufacturer because they make most of their lenses anyway. So do with it what you will, but here, you know, you've seen my examples, and I hope you guys the best. If you guys have any more questions or want to see any other lens comparisons that I haven't done yet, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, keep your eye out for inspiration, Shutterbugs. Bye.